Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors video. We're playing with the Beastmaster today, and I did not yet have the time to achieve the curse level 6 victory off camera, so I thought why not just give it another go. We're going in with a different type of rune build than we normally go, which makes us start with 2 abilities at once rather. I wanted to use a poison build today again, because I really still believe that that is one of the most potent, one of the most efficient builds out there. And I thought, why not just play with the character that starts off immediately with having poison abilities. What we also have is, instead of spawning things on random enemies or random location, we always spawn it right below us. So the Cobra totem here, for example, always spawns right below our feet. Gives us a bit more control and makes it able for us to kind of set up this little corner area that we did back when we were speedrunning the game or trying to do so. Can get back into that stuff. A nice little magnetic upgrade at the start. Never hurt nobody. Except somebody made out of metal. Haha, yeah, alright. That set the tone nicely for what this video is gonna be. Just random bullshit. Ooh, acid rain. I'm like 95% better from my illness. I really feel a lot better already. I cough a lot less. My nose is a bit more runny again, but it's still stuck sometimes. My throat ache is kind of gone. My headache is definitely gone. So it's... Oh, I'm okay, is what I'm trying to say. But I am still not at 100% because, as you can hear, and that's probably disgusting to some people, but my nose is still not great. It's still not perfect again. Needs some time to recover some more. It's gonna be a rough start, of course, when we invest so much into poison, because poison is more of a late game ability, and we also don't have the purity rune, so we don't have the immediate damage upgrade right from the start. Blade Storm, we always go Blade Storm, but sure, I like it. I love how it knocks back enemies and how it can apply a whole lot of poison to all the enemies around us. And it deals some nice early game damage as well. Unbreakable early is also very nice. This guy can body slam too. Alright. I guess let's look at whether it already does a bunch of damage. He has quite a lot of HP. How is our body slam damage looking? War Tiger, that's what I was looking for. I seem to remember the first time I tried out this little character that I found that to look like quite an overpowered or at least a very strong ability. So let's look at whether that is the truth indeed. I feel like our body slam is not doing that much damage at all, so I think I might get rid of it as soon as I get the opportunity. Maybe replace it with something else, like Poison Cloud, for example. See you later, body slam. Crit damage, sure. That's new, that's hip. I need to start dodging a little bit better because I'm taking a lot of unnecessary damage. Some more crit damage, yes please. Do we want a shockwave totem or we replace? Maybe Venomous Strike is not the best, but we don't want to replace it with shockwave totem. I think that's not what we're looking for. Let's try and get rid of some of these towers. But enough about me, enough about my illness and my recovery process. How have you guys been doing? You guys all been doing amazing? I hope so. I hope you've been doing amazing. Except for, or aside from my illness, I've been doing pretty good as well. I'm starting the new job finally tomorrow. I'm really excited for it. I already have 3 clients. And that's not the most important part for me, of course, the monetary part. But it is important because I need to make rent. I'm finally gonna start earning some bucks, some cash, some real money. I have some interesting clients lined up tomorrow. I'm just looking forward to getting to know the new mechanics that come with starting to work in a new workspace, a new work environment. Getting to know the team a bit more, probably meeting a lot of people tomorrow that I have met before but I have completely forgotten the name of already. Alright, interesting. What I immediately notice is that these tigers draw the attention of the lords. That makes them so valuable right from the get-go, because finally the Lord, this incarnation of fire over here, is not immediately throwing his flamethrower onto our head, so we can take a calm approach. That was easy as hell. I don't want any of these. Some area might be helpful. Another magnetic. So yeah, as soon as our tigers get on there, we can just roam freely around them and do our thing. Because these tigers also seem to be quite tanky. They seem to be able to take a beating, so that's very nice actually. Make sure that we don't get too low, because I feel like we're getting still damaged by quite a lot of things that we could normally dodge. Then again, I don't have that many dashes and I don't have that much movement speed, so it's quite normal that some things are hitting me, I think. But I do see the healing crystal up there, and as soon as I get rid of this tower, I'm going straight for that healing crystal. Damage increase for the swing, Venomous Strike, Blade Storm. No, I would rather have a global cast frequency upgrade, I think. Healing crystal here, another one spawned up here, and there we go. Now we can take some hits again, and we can get in there, get in the mix. Increased health, yes, please. I want them to be even more tanky. I would love an upgrade where I could spawn more as well, like an increased number of tigers. That would always be helpful. That's always helpful when you are going with minion builds. And there we go, another lord down already. Some more critical hit damage. Even if this is not a victory. Ooh, Poison Bomb. I think I prefer Poison Bomb over Venomous Strike. I think I do. Yeah, it's a larger AoE. Vicious Strikes, also very helpful, of course, always. Area effect on all nature skills is exactly what we're looking for. We shouldn't have been in there. A damage increase on the acid rain. No, not really. Let's go for some multicast. We haven't gotten that yet. I haven't read. Everybody who follows my Instagram account knows this. I have started not posting on there, or I've stopped posting on there as frequently as I used to, but either way, I made a post about me starting in William... Oh, I need to be careful for a second here. William Goldman, his name is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. William Goldman's Lord of the Flies. It's right here so I can check. Yeah, William Goldman. Uh-oh, don't get stuck on the trees now. A classic. I think a lot of people had to read that book for English class probably, or at least here in Belgium we had to. But I wanted to reread it. I found it in a second-hand bookstore for like a euro or something, or €2. And I was like, yeah, I want to have this book. I want to have a physical copy. It's such a classic. And it's a short book. And I think it's a beautiful story. It symbolizes childhood innocence and not realizing sometimes how easy it is to be taken care of, and how hard the adults have it in all their political systems and all those stuff. Hypothermia, we love that. These bosses are taking quite some damage. I don't know if it's just the tigers on their own that are dealing so much damage, but I definitely like it. Little magnetic upgrade right there. We've taken a lot of magnetic upgrades so far. Alright, let's get out of here for a second before we pop our first revive. We don't want that. Is there a healing crystal somewhere for us? But yeah, as I said, started reading Lord of the Flies. Really fun. I'm breezing through the book. And one of the most interesting parts about this little copy I own right here is that it was second-hand. So of course it has had a history already. But here you can actually see the history, because the book has all these little notes in there, and all these little translations of certain English words into Dutch, and all these little notes about like, yeah, so here Ralph is doing this and here Jack is doing that. So it's clearly also somebody that read it for school and maybe didn't have the best experiences with it, because they were like, yeah, I've done my school assignment, I'm gonna hand it into the second-hand bookstore. But it makes it so much more interesting for me to see that the book has a history, has like a story on its own already. And now I'm making my own notes as well, so now there's gonna be 2 sets of notes in the book. But I'm trying to be a bit calm with it. I'm not taking that many notes at all, because I want to like preserve the notes of the other person, the previous person. I don't want to overrule it with my ideas about the book, because I think their ideas are probably equally as valid, if not more valid. Have respect for readers and their interpretations of certain themes. One thing I noticed, for example, already is that some of the sentences he underlines, or he or she underlined, because I presume they thought that was a nice sentence. Some of those sentences, I don't understand why they are so nice, but then other sentences that don't have any pencil marks surrounding them yet, I kind of scrape a nice little thick line under there because I think, yeah, that's beautiful. For example, talking about the green feathers of palm trees. That's something I found really interesting and a beautiful little metaphorical little image. Yeah, image to consider. This is our third set of lords already, right? Yeah, I think so. We're making quick work of them. That's what's been going on in my life. This morning has been filled with kind of a lot of boring tasks. I had to get an insurance for my work as a clinical psychologist because if something goes wrong, I need to be insured because I'm an independent worker, so I need to take care of all those things myself. And then I also tried to order a Christmas present for the person in my girlfriend's family I have to order a present for, but apparently all of a sudden it was not possible to order that present anymore, so I need to go get it in the city center, which is... yeah, it's yucky because, I mean, it's cold as dicks out there lately. But yesterday evening was very interesting. I had dinner at an Italian restaurant here in Leuven, where I had never been before. I had walked past the storefront like once or twice. Do you call the restaurant front also a storefront? Because it's not really a store, I guess, but it is something that gives you services, and it is the front of the building. So for now, I'm gonna call it a storefront. I had walked past it multiple times before, but I had never even looked inside or looked at their website or anything, and then yesterday we decided to just go there. And it was delicious. It was quite tasty. And it was also just very cozy inside. I had a parpadelle, which is like very, very thick white noodles with boar ragu. I think it's boar, right? Yeah, I think so. Very interesting stuff. It was delicious. Nice and meaty. A little... Ooh, we don't want to die. We're playing two balls. You need to calm down. Not that much sauce on there, really. Just like really, really focused on the meat. And I can appreciate that. It was a beautiful, tasty little dish. As an appetizer, my girlfriend and her mother and aunt, who we went to dinner with, actually got like this big plate filled with meats and cheeses. And I got to enjoy some of that still myself. I arrived later because I came from work. And that was also very delicious. That's always delicious in these Italian restaurants, right? But yeah, the pasta was just delicious. It was definitely homemade. It had a nice tang to it still. It was a little al dente, and I love that. I prefer that over the mushy, overcooked store-bought pasta, of course. And all in all, it was just a pleasant experience. Had an amazing glass of red wine. Really was delicious. Even though it was just like their general house wine they give when you order just red wine and don't say the specific brand of wine you want. But it was very tasty. A nice and soft, comforting taste. Nothing too crazy. Definitely enjoy myself a nice glass of red wine now and then. How is this run looking? I can tell you that it's not looking as amazing as I first thought it was. We are still getting rid of the lords, but I really put myself in a pickle by dashing in there so carelessly all the time, because now, I mean, we're on our last breath. Oh, and now these elites are here. We don't like them. I want to try and get this gem. But, oh, Jesus Christ, man. I'm getting smacked. Smacked like it's none of my business being here. Try and move close again a little bit. Get some poison stacks in there. Maybe get rid of the Chaos Bringer. 10 bleed 6 is not going to be enough to get rid of him, though. Aye. Don't get stuck on trees. That has really been my demise for the last 15 runs, I feel like. These elites are all lining up, doing the conga dance, doing the little polonaise. I don't like that too. What I love about Italian restaurants is that sometimes they use simple ingredients, like just having some tomatoes, some pasta, and then like another vegetable or two. And somehow, by using like such good quality olive oil, a nice amount of fresh and balanced spices, they can make like the simplest dishes. They taste the most amazing. I always just get stuck on things, god damn. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna have to do it off camera. I can't do 4 attempts of the same run. You'll see my victory at the start of the next video. Bye-bye.